Hello folks, this is Steve AB4EL. Winter's trying to creep in on us here. How about your place? Now, nothing in this episode is a promotion, nor is it a recommendation. I'm actually just gonna play around a little bit. So one of the tabs I have is Bleeping Computer because it's about hacking. What's going on? And yesterday I looked at this one. Today I decided I'm going to show you. Malicious PyPy package. Malicious PyPy package with 37,000 downloads steals AWS keys. Amazon Web Service. You rent their computers in the cloud. I have a medical device that when it reports in by way of the cell tower, it actually talks to the company's program running on AWS. Because they don't want to have a big IT department. They don't know how to do that. So they run their stuff on AWS and then they get the data from there. All right. Just want you to think this is not trivial. What would keys be? Like passwords for your account, for access, for control, for manipulating it? Okay. Malicious. PyPy, Python programming language. When you program something new in like Python or C, whatever, do you create it all fresh like I used to in 1983 when there wasn't anything like that? Or do you go out and look and see if, I need a function that'll go and do this. Oh, here's a library that's free to use on PyPy, written in Python. I'll use that. Let me try it, see if it does what I want. Got it? Okay, so why is the article interesting? This particular package has been there since 2021. Three years? Stealing Amazon Web Services credentials from unsuspecting developers. Actually, you read a lot of hacking news where they talk about people were so dumb that they put stuff out on like AWS or Azure, and they didn't even bother to require a password to read the data, or they're just storing data out there. Not an interactive program, they're just storing stuff out there because it's convenient and they don't even password protect it. According to the application security company Socket, now in computer programming, like there's WinSockets, Windows sockets. It's a programming interface that you don't have to learn how to put data into a packet and format the packet to send it over to network in a form that would be readable by a computer on the other end. You use an API. And PyPy is full of subroutines or APIs, application programming interface. So there's a company called Socket. So right away I think about Windows sockets, and they have them in Linux also. They have it pre-programmed in Java. They have it pre-programmed in Python. But there's a company called that. We'll get to it. So this security company detected something in a library at PyPy. The package has been downloaded more than 37,000 times and executes platform-specific scripts for Windows and Linux. because how you do a particular function is coded differently. They're not the same operating system. They just run on x86 CPUs. The large number of downloads accounted for by, and here's the name of the library, Fabrice. Let's just do a Google search. Fabrice is a French masculine given name from the Roman name Fabricus. No, that's not it. Then there's something on Instagram. Oh, Hacker News. So somebody else knows about this? They're all copycats. Remember, the website like Bleeping Computer is simplifying a long technical article so that I get the gist of it and then decide if that's something I really need to know about in depth, then I can go to the original source. Fabrice's lavish beaded dresses defined 80s parties. Jewelry, disstyle, TikTok, blah. So on the first page, the super AI correctly cites a hacking news article, right? There it is in Hacker News. But back to this. It typo squatting the legitimate SS remote server management package, Fabric, a very popular library with more than 200 million downloads. Now let me just show you what that means. I'm going to open this and I'm going to make the font large. Now what's typo squatting? Here's the one that's the bad boy. Copy, paste, there it is. What's typo squatting? There's another package that it's meant to imitate, deceive you. And you're so stupid that you somehow come across the bad one with the E and you don't know any better. Got it? Or you mistype it. An expert explained to Bleeping Computer that typo in the article. Fabrice remained undetected for so long because, now this is self-advertisement by the expert, because advanced scanning tools, such as what they sell, services, were deployed after initial submission, and very few solutions conducted retroactive scans. Oh, we're only going to scan the stuff that's come out in the last year because we're a startup and we're trying. And you know, there's a million packages out there, and probably most of them are really not being used by anybody. Got it? Okay. Now, I'm going to get to the part that I thought was interesting. The attackers then exfil. All right. So what happens is that you incorporate this library and you write code and you call into it when your application is actually running and interacting with Amazon Web Services, your stuff there. And part of it is you run your program and you've written it to log in, which means it has to supply the keys, password. And that's where, and it calls into what you think was Fabric. but you downloaded, you asshole, Fabrice. And when it does that, when it makes that call, now they're showing some test code example. Now here's the thing I liked. This is typical programming. See, the way they've got this here, I can't directly copy it. But let's read it. HTTPS. This is a web request. When you say Google, it fills in, it knows, it fills in https://www.google.com. Because it knows that's what it is, because there's a lookup list. Now, it's HTTP with no S, insecure, and then it gives a IP version 4 address, which is 4 numbers from 0 to, each number segment is from 0 to 255, 89.44.9.227. If you were to look in the interface to the WAN modem in your home that connects you to your ISP, you would find that your computer on that WAN device has an IP number, Internet Protocol address. And when your stuff goes to like Google search, they can see who you are because they can see that address. It's a number, and it's unique to you. The one for me is unique to me. (89.44.9). 89.44.9. 227. We're going to use that in a minute. Now, they're giving a test example of how using the Fabrice fake but same name function, regardless of the operating system, the primary goal of Fabrice is to steal the credentials using something called Boto3, the official Python SDK software development kit for Amazon Web Services. So Amazon says you have to call into that. But when it does it and gets the stuff back, this bad code does something else behind your back. What does it do? It correctly calls and automatically pulls the AWS credentials and other stuff, and then the code that's bad that you didn't realize exfiltrates. What does that mean? It opens a connection to somewhere else that you don't know about and sends out those keys there, along with what you were trying to access on AWS. So now they not only know what your stuff is, they know how to use the keys, password to get into it too. The attacker then exfiltrates the stolen keys to a virtual private network server operated by a company called M247 in Paris, France. which makes tracing the destination of where the bad guy really is. What's the point of a virtual private network? The way it's being used, like you can get into a Tor virtual private network using a Brave browser, which is why I have a Brave browser. If I start my Brave browser, one of the things I can do is go over here and I can say private window with Tor. And it's set, Tor is connecting 50%, loading, relay, descriptors, 75%. Tor connected successfully. Now, when I want to go someplace, they can't tell it's from me. Remember what I said about when I go to like Google, they can see my IP number, my address, they know it's me. When I go through Tor, they don't know what it is. Tor hides that and substitutes something else. And if I do another call to Google, they substitute a different number. Do you follow that? Besides that, Google throws that shit away because they know after a while they've figured out that this is the Brave Tor. Got it? So this bad code opens a connection to a preset virtual private network account on a server that specializes it in Paris, and you don't know where all that really goes to afterward. Just like Google, when I'm using this, doesn't know it's me. So if we just do something like, who is M247? Why doesn't it, M247, why doesn't it want to try to find it? What's the matter with the search engine? There it is. Finally woke up. Gigabit Business Internet Cloud Services, m247.com. Like google.com, amazon.com, m247.com. Your global digital transformation partner for growth. Co-locate, check our packages. Public cloud presentation. Services. VPN servers. Dedicated VPN servers allows your business privacy and encryption without sacrificing performance. Dedicated IPs, addresses. Low latency, acts fast. Global network, it gets to everywhere. We're supported by 55 data centers around the world. I'm not pushing anything. I'm reading what they're offering. Following it. This is how I explore the articles and learn more. Okay? And they've got this crowd here. They're not really workers there, but they look so hip. There's the telephone number if you want to go. You can dial them up in Paris. Okay. So just for the fun of it, and this is expressed in something called JSON, never mind what it is. So what I did is this. I was curious to find out if the example was real, meaning they took it from somebody who got screwed. PING. Now, if I go www.google.com, behind the scenes it uses domain name service and it gets the IP number and it sends what's called a ping packet asking, are you there, to see how long it takes to do the back and forth. And Google responded, all right? And they responded, there's their IP number. That's the IP address of the server that responded to the ping. Are you there? Yes. My address is 142.251.167.99. Now, I'm demonstrating this for a reason. So let's take the address that's supposedly the one in the article and ping it. Request timed out. Request timed out. Request timed out. You notice there are 4 attempts. When we did the Google one, it responded 4 times, 31 milliseconds, 30 milliseconds, 27 milliseconds. Got it? But this one means no one out there owns that address. Or the server does exist, but they've intentionally turned off the ping service. There's no obligation. Google keeps it on. Ping is one of the very earliest protocols of the internet. So this could be that that's not an actual owned assigned address, or a virtual private network might not answer to it even if it was, because it's the wrong kind of message coming in and they don't, and we're secret and we're not going to, you got it? So I'm going to use another service. Let's do NS lookup, something like www.bbc.com. Non-authoritative answer. So you can read it. It's actually answering from a place called bbc.map.fastly.net. It has several addresses. 151.101, they all have that. And the end one is 81.81, but the middle one is either 64, 128, 0, or 192. And that's not unusual. They've got server farms in different parts of the world, and the closest one that gets routed to will be the one that answers as the gateway for the bbc.com. Okay? And the aliases are www.bbc.com or bbc.com. You see this? They serve different purposes. Now, why am I doing this? Well, let's try it with this. We tried the ping, and we got nothing. So let's do an NS lookup. Who is NS lookup? Google. Google. Didn't take it long. "8888" is the domain name service of Google. I have them listed as one of my primary, when I want to have a name resolved, I want Google to do it. They know everything on the web. As far as they're concerned, it's non-existent. Okay? So is it a hidden address, not public, because it's a virtual private network? Or did they just put in some fake numbers that if you tried it like I'm trying to do it, it won't go anywhere? Don't know. But I play around with stuff like this. Why not? Because sometimes people do give examples that really do ping back, which might get you into trouble. Oh! You mean they may make up a fake number so that you won't ping it and have that thing that deliver malware back to you? Oh! See? Do you understand that? Yeah. The guy who's using that, if that's a real virtual private network address, he might be smart enough that if it doesn't look like it came from his sneak package, he might decide to play with you in a way you wouldn't like by carrying on a conversation that ends up destroying your computer by sending stuff down to it that you don't want on there? Do you think that there are guys out there that do stuff like that? Think about it. Anyway, so I've just been playing around with this article. I saw that address and I thought, oh, no, wait a minute. Now let me give credit to the company. The name of the company is Socket. And it says here, the shell scripts are decoded and granted execution permissions, letting the attacker to execute commands with user privileges, the researchers explain. So, and I'm looking, and this website is socket.dev. And this is the article, okay? And company, why we built, careers, investors, wait a minute, about. Do you notice that they're almost always young people and they don't look like me, except for a few old people? Where do you think this is the first time I'm seeing this. First time I'm seeing this. Do we want to make a guess where he's from originally? What would you guess? I've never seen him before. I've never seen that name before. Where would you guess? Think about it for a second. General partner, Casado, Scott Johnson, these are companies that are recommending them. Backed by leading investors and visionaries, but these people are like Elad Gil, founder of Color Genomics, investor. He's Israeli. Tim Naimi, he's probably Israeli too. But the rest of them, they're probably United States, Britain. There's a guy named Yang. Shyam Shankar, he's probably Pakistani or Indian. Okay, so the only one we can get is this guy. Have you made up your mind? My guess is Iran. The other guess would be Turkey, but my first guess is Iran. let's see if we can figure it out. Feroz.org is a computer security researcher, teacher, web developer, designer, long-distance runner, gamer. How about LinkedIn? Looks like the same guy. He's in the San Francisco Bay Area. He went to Stanford, and they don't want to show us anything else. And it's the website called socket.dev. Let's see if there's anything else that could help us. He's on Instagram. He's been on YouTube as a guest. Crunchbase. He could have been born. Wait a minute. Does he have a Wikipedia article? YouTube Instant. At the point of YouTube Instant's creation. Okay, his name is mentioned there. Another one. Wikipedia. Study Notes is an online learning tool by high school junior. Oh, this is good. Hang on. We're going to see how high his IQ is. And believe me, it's through the roof. I've never seen him before. How do I know? Watch. Wikipedia, YouTube Instant. Let's see what this is. What's the chance? This was written in 2010. So he was a kid. There's his name. What's the chance that we're confusing him with another person? Close to zero. YouTube Instant is a real-time search engine built and launched in September 2010 by a 19-year-old college student and Facebook software engineer intern out of Stanford University. Now, he either started Stanford at the age of 16 or he was a freshman. He may have started early. Out of Stanford that allows its users to search YouTube video database as they type. It follows on the heels of Google Instant and has been described as a novelty toy, a prototype digit to tie the blah, blah, blah. Now, then it says, this guy, I can't say his name, was offered a job from the YouTube CEO, Chad Hurley, back then, shortly after he created his search site on YouTube video, about YouTube videos. He was at a competitor. He was at Facebook as a summer intern. And he has said that he was working on a secret Facebook project. Now hang on. You can see it's gotten interesting. That was 2010. But then there's another one here, Wikipedia Study Notes. Study Notes is an online learning tool created by a high school junior when he was in El Dorado Hills, California. It was released to the public in March 2007. By September 2011, Study Notes was receiving 10,000 page views per day. By September 2015, Study Notes has served over 43 million users. Study Notes began as a way for the founder, this guy we're talking about, his name is right there. It's still active. There's the website. Advanced Placement English, Advanced Placement European History. This guy was just like a freshman in high school. Got it? Oh, they didn't open a separate tab. Okay. So there's two references to that guy with a unique enough name that there's no, and he's on GitHub and he's the CEO of, oh, wait a minute. This article may be too technical for most readers to understand. Please help improve it to make it more understandable to non-experts without removing technical details. And they made this request in November 2018. Let's find out. WebTorrent is a peer-to-peer streaming torrent client written in JavaScript from the same author, and there he is again, of YouTube Instant and the team at web. What did I say his IQ most likely is? Have I ever worked with people like him? That if you took 4 or 5 of me, you would equal one of them? Yes! That's why as soon as I started to see what those, this is fresh. I didn't look anywhere else. It's the first time I'm seeing it. All right, so would I trust his stuff from socket.dev? Oh, yes. Now, this is what I do in the past. One of the problems with the search engine is that it knows I'm in the United States, so it gives me search results that are geared to the United States instead of looking to the wider world. Now this is from his actual website. There's a picture of him as a kid. I maintain 100 plus packages of blah, 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 blah. He talks about all the things like BitMidi, Play, Study Notes, Peer CDN, whatever that is. I'm a graduate of Stanford University and I worked at Quora, Facebook, Yahoo, and Intel. I did research in Stanford Human Computer Interaction and Computer Security. And there he is a little bit older. And then he goes in and then he wrote YouTube Instant. And in September 2010, remember he got a job offer from the CEO of YouTube at that time. In September 2010, I built YouTube Instant in just 3 hours as a bet with my roommate. And he says the founder of YouTube offered him a job. The founder of YouTube offered him a job. And my resume is available. Master of Science, Bachelor of Science, doesn't have a PhD. And there's all his stuff. How to start your company by age 21. He was a panelist invited by Stanford. He's been a university lecturer, podcast, Brave Software independent consultant, Stanford University teaching assistant, There's the discontinued projects. I'm looking for languages. I'm looking if he'll tell us some languages. And I don't mean computer languages. He's done a little bit of fun playing around, hasn't he? High school website team lead programmer 2006 to 2008. He built the school website. Oak Ridge High School, wherever that is. I don't think that means Tennessee. Okay? Sites that he built. Where's the languages? Okay, so he doesn't give us languages, which is always the clue, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Iran. Feroz Khan. Hang on. Here's a guy with that same personal name, LinkedIn. We're looking for languages. German Jordanian University. Not sure where that is. And there's no languages associated with this. This is what I do. This guy's in Ohio. Where's German Jordanian University? Where is it? Where's it located? Hang on. This will tell us where they're from. It's in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. It's in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Have I ever been to Jordan? 1966. And that's why they say German Jordanian University. Jordan is a public comprehensive university devoted to academic distinction in teaching, research, etc., etc. And it says where it's located in the vicinity of Amman, Jordan, the capital, but it's outside of the city, apparently on a certain well-known highway. Okay? And it's built on a certain kind of German school model, which is why they say that. No. All I was trying to do is just, so we say Jordan. That's a different person. He's a songwriter. Hard on My Knees by Jordan Feroz. That's a song. And he's got a... Now, what's the other way we can search? What's the other way we can search? Now, hang on. What's the other way we can search? We can use his family name. And as I'm looking at it now, it might very well be Jordanian, Arabic. See, I'm interested. Now, again, it assumes a United States and Western Europe. See, this is where he was a student teacher at Stanford. Remember, it said in his CV that he did that? And all they know about here is they start off with him. And let me see how many pages where all they're doing is they're showing us him. Now, why do I stray like, let's get down to like page 8. World Athletics. Still Success, the myth by. This is still all about him except this athlete here. And this guy's in the United States, but he's got a Muslim name. We're trying to figure out the originating country. Yep, there we go. What I saw there was, there's the family name. It's a woman. And All they know is they know her name. But she's religious. Her head is covered. And all the rest are just kind of close. So I'm gonna land on the Heshemite king of Jordan. Is that okay with you? Looks like I'm having. Oh, wait a minute. This guy here, Amjad, with the same name. Wait a minute. He's at socket also. He was in track and field at UCLA, but he's also at socket, so he's the brother. He's the brother. You see it? Got it? They're inbred. The genius has got his brother working there too. Look, I'm just having fun. The guy has got more IQ than like 5 of me rolled into one. And I know it. All right, this all started with this with this Bleeping Computer article. And I was fascinated by the fact that they had the IP numbers in here. But then I decided to check out who are the people that claim they could have detected this and why wasn't it detected earlier? Because this is really a big hit in terms of malware. And it takes us down a journey to learn about the kind of people who've come to the United States or their families come to the United States. And then you saw what he's not shy about on his CV, showing what he was doing in junior high. Steve, I'm happy I did this. You can see the smile on my face. And have I known at working as a software engineer, have I known people like that? Yeah. How many do you think? I can only think of 3. Out of tens of thousands of employees. I can only think of 3 that somehow I was lucky enough to have contact with. And in 2 cases have them help me when I got stuck. That was my backup team. Steve A. before y'all, just having fun. Saying see you in 73.